Hi, I'm Tessa Brock with Tessa Brock Consulting, and I just wanted to take a minute to reach out. I know many schools are winding down and are going through enormous efforts to find ways to memorialize their students' experiences, to really close the year up to the best of their ability, and are really finding a light at the end of the tunnel, kind of, around this experience of having to shift gears on a dime and absolutely just revamp everything in a moment's notice to continue to meet the needs of students. I also know that so many organizations, very similarly, have, in a moment's notice, had to figure out how are they going to work from home, how are they going to make this work. And that some are now beginning to shift back, and that states are beginning to lift stay-at-home orders, and people are transitioning back. And there's a lot of emotion tied up with that as well. I also think about so many of the people that I'm connected to who have had life experiences that have altered their existence for forever. They've lost people that are incredibly important to them, and life will never be the same because of this experience. So as I think about how many states are beginning to shift and classrooms and schools are bringing closure to this school year, organizations are shifting back to what may be a new version of normal for however long that is, or whatever this is going to be. I just wanted to take a minute and just reach out and just acknowledge that this has been really hard, and really to acknowledge that I heard a quote from a dear, dear friend of mine, and it was, "We're all in the same storm, we're just in different boats." And that was really important for me, and it really resonated for me because this morning I was listening to a link on someone's Facebook something, and as I was listening to this person, they are experiencing this COVID experience very different than my experience. Their lens is different, their approach is different, their perspective is pretty opposite of mine, and I found myself having so much compassion for this person, even though I profoundly disagree with almost every part of their message. I found myself profoundly having compassion for them because I understood that they are in their space because of their life circumstances, because of the sphere of influence they are surrounded by the information they are taking in. And so I continue to remind myself that all of us are in this moment together, but because of our life experiences, because of the invisible backpacks of everything we have all been through, it will then, it really addresses that lens that we all have, and that we all will show up or see things in a very different way. So what I want to just kind of think about together is that as we are working to be trauma informed, I want us to realize that for so many people, the last 8 weeks or so have really felt like a pressure cooker, and that the longer we have stayed in isolation or in physical distancing or whatever that has been like, that so many people, that has felt like a pressure cooker for them. And when I can remember that, then responses that I would maybe prefer that people do something different, or I might be concerned or angry or frustrated or disappointed or exasperated, any of those responses that show up inside of me simply remind me to remember that my life experience, or my even COVID-19 experience, has likely been profoundly different than theirs. And I just think that's important because I truly believe, as I've said over and over and over, that the antidote to trauma is to be one regulated adult that can be present and infuse joy and hope in the situation, but also to be regulated enough to say, wow, this seems big for you. How can I help? If I am stuck in judgment, if I am stuck in criticism, I do not have access to compassion and empathy for another human being. And as we are shifting back, as states are opening, as people are venturing out, and some people are having high anxiety, and some people are saying, I don't believe in masks, and everything in between, I really think it's important that we have to continue to remember that no matter where we are at, and no matter where the other person is at, we need to remember to have compassion and empathy in all of our interactions. I recently heard a song by Jason Mraz that said, the answer is always love. I don't know if I'm going to be able to embed that into this video or not, but if you get a chance, Google the song. It's a beautiful song. And for me, it really is kind of this anthem that I am kind of replaying in my head right now around the answer is love. We are all in the same storm. We're on different boats, but the answer is always going to be love. And when we can show up for any other human being with compassion and empathy, then we will be able to be supportive, validating, and impactful, which I really believe the reason you are following this thread is because you want to make a positive impact and a positive difference in the lives of others. So, lastly, I just want to say that I hold you all deeply in my heart. And for those of you who this has been an incredibly challenging experience, whether it's by staying home and educating your students and your children, by having to shift on a dime, by having to figure out how to be overwhelmingly flexible in every human way. If you have lost others in your life that are incredibly important to you, no matter what this experience has been for you, I want you to know that I'm holding you in my heart, and that I do believe in the resilience of the human spirit. And I also believe in the power of self-care. And remember to take good care of yourself as things are shifting back. You'll be in a fragile space. Some people will feel more anxious. Some people will have longer-term wounds. Let's remember that, because all of those wounds for ourselves or for others, a lot of them are pretty invisible. And we know that from the trauma work that we've been doing together. And so people's behaviors, people's responses, things may not always make sense to us. And it'll be helpful for us to remember that just because it doesn't make sense doesn't mean that it's wrong. So anyways, I appreciate you being on this journey with us. I value you. I appreciate you. And I'm just grateful that we're all doing this together, because I think that the more we can lock arms together and be connected, the more we can make a difference. As I've said over and over, I hope that by the time we move through this entire, whatever the end of the COVID-19 experience is, I truly hope that we can find a way to be more connected with each other, that we can give more love and give more compassion and empathy with each other, and we can just have the answer be love. Anyways, so I'm thinking about you. I'm holding you in my heart. I wish you well. For those of you who are off in the summer, please take good care of yourself. For those that are transitioning back to work, please take good care of yourself. I look forward to connecting with you soon.